This concerns me. The preview's not showing up correctly. If y'all can hear me, that means we're live. I was actually slightly concerned that my mic wasn't getting picked up, but, you know, now that you've told me it's picked up, hello everyone. And welcome to the Level With Us Livecast. I'm your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as the Mechanic, and with me is the ever-amazing, ever-wonderful, ever-bullety...
I'm Josh, also known as I3. How's it going, everybody?
Yeah, how is it going?
One heck of a stream.
Oh boy, I'm so excited for this stream. I'm not actually going to show our cameras yet, Josh, because I kind of want to let a few minutes pass so that some people can come in. You know, so we'll have this game reveal intro screen up for a while before we show our video. For chat, that's because the moment I show it, we'll be spoiling the first character already, and I don't want to do that just yet. Josh, how have you been this week? Has it been a cool week for you? Have you exercised being a gamer? I don't know, man. Like, what the heck do you do during your week outside of work?
More work, trying to play a little more Hades and trying to get into Yakuza.
Which one?
It's the new one, Like a Dragon.
Dude,
I haven't started it yet.
I so want to play Like a Dragon. It's so crazy. Because it's like, I can't play it. You know that, right? That makes me so upset.
Yeah, it's like region locked or whatever for you, right?
It is. Well, that's cool at least. At least you got to play Hades and Like a Dragon. I guess I'll live vicariously through you.
Sure, I'll let you know how it goes.
Right. Well, Josh, it's only customary that when somebody asks you how you've been doing, you ask the same question. So.
Right. I mean, you asked yourself. So how are you doing, Marco?
What
things have you been doing besides work and more work?
Yeah. It's I've been playing Skull the Hero Slayer, and I've recently... So Skull the Hero Slayer is like a side-scrolling roguelike action RPG. You ever play Maple Story or Grand Chase? You know those games?
Yeah, I played Maple Story, yeah.
Right, this is basically a roguelike Maple Story. Like, you know, it's like that side-scrolling platformer beat-em-up kind of genre, right? But, like, the gimmick is that you get to switch heads constantly, and that changes your entire skill set. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Chat is asking, cosplaying as a Bullet Star character? I cannot cosplay as any of these characters. Mostly because that would probably involve cross-dressing, and I don't have the clothes for that, sorry. I tried to cosplay as cheaply as possible by only getting stuff from my own wardrobe, and sadly I dress predominantly male-facing, so... Unfortunately, no cosplays from me.
You're not suit and tie this week, are you? Though.
No.
Last stream.
No. I'm not suit and tie this week. I mean, I guess I could fit for one of the characters.
I almost dressed up for this one since you did last time.
Oh wow! I mean, I didn't this time, so that people can see me in my non-nerdy glory. You know, it's actually been a long, hot minute since people have seen me on camera and seen you on camera. So I think
2 weeks to be exact.
No. Like ever since that last 2 weeks. Like when was the last time we do a video stream, right? Like we usually did gameplay or we did right. So there was not a lot of
yeah, it's been a lot of Soccer Arms gameplay streams.
Right. So there's that. I've also gotten into Going Under, which is basically 3D Zelda as a roguelike set in the dystopian future of startup tech companies. And you're an intern working for a tech company. And you're going down into other tech companies to beat up their employees, destroy their boss, and then steal their ancient productivity synergy artifacts or whatever. Like, like there's this coffee maker that makes everyone 20% more productive. So your boss has tasked you to kill other startups and steal their stuff. Like, I don't know, man. It's whack. Right. And last one is Fights in Tight Spaces, which was recommended to me on our Discord earlier this day. And it's people basically said it's John Wick meets Slay the Spire. So it's like a tactical combat game where you're a dude and you have to fight 6 or 4 other dudes, and you're like martial artsing them with cards, and there's like positioning and pushing people and stuff. It seems really interesting to me. But you know what's more interesting than all of this, Josh?
Bullet Star, maybe?
Yeah, so I'm gonna go show our cameras now. Oh my gosh, look, it's Marco and Josh and a person, a person here on the other side. So we will be showing off the heroines, their concept arts. So do note that none of these are exactly final. Some of them may look final, but things can still change until production happens. And do note that this game,
right. We do have a couple of final arts, right?
Yeah, but they're not like what you see here will not be the final representation. Maybe they get cut in some places, or there's a different background. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, of course.
Yeah. So one big caveat I want to make is that this game is like not that. The Kickstarter for this game is not coming anytime soon. We're not going to be announcing any dates or whatever. We just want to show it off so that all of you can get excited about the new characters for Bullet, because Bullet Heart did so well. We were basically like, yeah, we're going to have to make a sequel, don't we? It is what it inevitably came to. So Josh, did that make you suffer? Is having to make a sequel for Bullet a bad or a good thing, in your opinion?
I mean, it was a good thing, because we already had 20 reference sheets for characters for when Heart was in early development, so I got to use a bunch more of those.
Right, so to peel back the veil a little bit, a lot of these characters were actually candidates for Heart, and they just didn't make the cut, right?
Yeah, we originally planned Bullet Heart for like 20 ends, and we cut back to 8 because development got out of hand quickly. So a lot of them got pushed into Star. Those that were on the original development team will still be surprised. There's a lot of new stuff mechanically for these heroines you might recognize from old testing days.
Right, and a lot of new heroines that you probably have never seen before, because a certain somebody strong-armed Josh into adding an OC. So, ciao, we're done, so.
Not just you, I strong-armed myself into King. I was not happy with all 20 heroines we originally concepted, so we made a couple of 2 or 3 new ones just for Star. Nobody's seen them before outside of the company.
All right, so who's this? Who's this? The one on the screen right now? She has a top hat.
I don't know.
She has a bow and tie. She has white hair, blue skin, and 6 eyes.
Yeah, so that's Plano Lalent Talenti. She is a half human, half spider person, basically. She's a mentalist, like stage magician type person. As you can tell from the outfit.
Right, and you can also tell that she's kind of spidery, not just because of the eyes, but because her arms are actually unnaturally long. So she has long skin.
Yeah, her arms and legs are longer and jointed differently.
Right, she has spider joints. Right, yeah, especially on the arm. If you notice, like where her elbow should be, there's like an extra joint that's not supposed to be there for a regular human.
Right.
So does this mean she's an alien or what?
Yeah, so kind of the theme, quote, heavy air quotes theme for Star is to get into space and start introducing some of these alien races and alien type characters, heroines, into the game. So, in Heart we started on Earth, and it was mostly Earthlings and Ekalu, and now we're going to a much grander scale with Star, aptly named Star.
Right.
Where we see more than just Earth people in the set, and Plano's a good representation.
I'm really interested in
that.
Oh, chat says hi, chat. Magician heroine. Yes, you all guessed it correctly. This is a magician heroine. She's very, very interesting. Can we talk a little bit about her mechanics? I guess that's my job, right? So
Yeah, I mean, should we talk about their powers first before we talk?
right. Obviously,
how
talk
we
about the
implement
lore
that?
so that we can show that how we represent it in the mechanics. Go talk about her lore. What's her power? Every character in Bullet technically has a power. So what's hers?
Right. So Plano's power is that if she makes you believe something, it happens.
So she's like a
So-
reverse orc psyker from Warhammer, right?
Yeah, and she uses that a lot in her like mentalist acts and stuff to make you believe that she's seeing the future or that she can lift something really heavy, whatnot. She goes around from planet to planet like scamming people out of all of their money valuable. She's not a super good type of person. I wouldn't say she's evil, but
She's a con woman, right?
Yeah, she's from a long line of like space magicians in that family. The Talenti family is like a huge family of magicians, and she's one of many. They're not all spider people.
Yeah, they're not all spider people. The human half is what the Talenti is, I think.
Yeah. That's where her last name comes from. It's her human side. She's part Italian.
Right.
So
right.
we mechanically we represent that with her UA. Which is what is her UA called now?
Predictable. Yeah, that's the development term.
It's called predictable.
Right.
Predictable exclamation point.
right. Yeah. Geese.
So Plano. Yeah. It's very geese. We made a bunch of geese jokes already in this character. So Plano has a mind. The mind is essentially a section on your UA board where you can put bullets. So also it does is define that the mind is a space that you can put things, and that's it. Her actions are how she uses her mind mechanically. So she has actions that let her put bullets from her currents into her mind. So kind of like Tetris fashion, she can see what's coming if she spends AP on it.
Right, so you can essentially see the future, right, by putting stuff into her mind.
Yeah, she exactly. She basically predicts the future with this mind mechanic.
Right. It makes her really interesting.
And she can, yeah. So deciding when to put things in your mind and what to do with it, because your mind is essentially second current. You can't end turn until your mind and your current are both clear. So even that red 4 is coming, you still have to deal with it eventually.
Right.
You just know what it is and you have time to deal with it. You can also clear things from your mind too with AP.
Right.
So if you can't place that red 4, you might have the AP to just get rid of it without needing to place it.
What makes her mechanically interesting is that she can like piecemeal it, right? So if she puts a bunch of stuff into her mind, she actually gets to choose what so even if you do a red 4, a blue 3, and a pink 1, you don't have to place those in the order that they went into your mind. The moment something goes into your mind, you can just place it. So you can choose the order of placement from your mind, which is also a very powerful power in and of itself.
Right, so you can place really safely. She's a really safe character.
Right. Josh, your camera's wonky.
Is it?
Yeah. You froze on me, dog.
How is that?
Better. Yeah, it's working now.
Am I still freezing on you?
A little bit, yeah. Okay. Oh no, technical issues on the live cast. It's okay. We're gonna.
Right.
Yeah. The ability sounds powerful. I think that this is the thing about. I think this is the thing about Bullet, right? Is that every character's powers should feel broken, right? Should feel like it's unfair for me to have this power and for you to not have it, right? That's really the design goal with a lot of Bullet characters, is to make them feel like they're special snowflakes, where it's like,
yeah, you should feel cool when you put things in, then you get to kind of cheat. The balance for the mind is that, to use your mind at all, it always costs AP. So if you want to use your mind, you're going to tank, you're not going to be able to move bullets as much, you're not going to set up patterns as easily. So it's a pretty legitimate decision so far in testing, whether or not to use mind, when to use it.
When to use your mind. So. Inside a mind. Yeah. Plano's fun. I honestly like I like her gameplay.
She's really fun.
Yeah, Josh and I play her very differently. Josh plays her safe by spending a lot of AP to mind it up and see the bullets before they come. I play like a madman, and I just pull bullets without using my mind, except near the end where there's only like 4 bullets left, and I just use all of my AP to get rid of them without caring. So there's a lot of like angles of play, which is what's really interesting about it. And what a good bullet character usually is like there's multiple ways to play them, and you know, I would like to think that Josh and I are particularly good at this game. So with two high-level players playing it and having different opinions about what is their favorite playstyle for the character, I think that's a healthy way for a character to go, you know?
Yeah, hopefully not every heroine's mechanics like shunts you into one specific way you can play. Usually there's like 2 or 3 ways you can play a heroine, ideally, of course.
People in chat are asking, does she have any patterns that interact with mind bullets? So something about... No, she does not. There's a reason why, though. Josh and I actually thought about something like this before, and then we realized, how do we make it clear that that requirement is in your mind and not on the board? You know what I mean? Like, it's...
Yeah, currently patterns are keyed to only...
Oh, Josh, you're cutting out? No!
So making them key to mind would be a little... Oh, no.
Oh, no. Can you turn off other stuff? Like...
How about... No.
Okay, do you want to just...
turning off as much as you can.
Okay, wait. Let's restart the call. Wait, let's restart it. Technical issues, everyone. I won't go away, but Josh will for a bit. Let me just go back to our default screen. And Josh, I'm going to call you again, alright?
Better?
No, your video's conked, bruh. Alright. It's rough. Do you even mind, says chat? Okay.
Do you want me to do an NBC?
You won't be able to do video then, right? Like, it's okay. I guess I'll probably just replace your face. Yeah, we can, I guess, turn off Josh for now. Turn off your video for now, Josh, and let's see if that fixes the audio.
Sure.
Alright. People, can everybody hear Josh properly? I do apologize for the technical.
How is it now?
Yeah, it's way better now.
Okay.
Do I just
Like
put Jamie's
better?
face here or
just kinda
something?
better?
It's much better, for sure. You're not cutting out every so often.
Okay.
Do you want me to put Jamie's face here? Who do you want me to sub in for your face?
Yeah, Jamie's fine. I don't have a bullet Sona or anything yet, so...
It's kind of odd to me that you don't have a bullet Sona, Josh. What is...
I mean, even if I did, I wouldn't admit it, right? That's too, like, pandery.
I wouldn't admit it!
Sticking myself in my own universe.
Oh, man, Josh.
You'll never know.
You'll never know which one of them is me! Alright, I'm just gonna look for the Jamie art. So while we're talking, chat, do you have any questions
Bring
about
up another heroine. Yeah.
No, let's talk about, let's
we
can
talk about her boss mode a bit, because I know that's not mechanically, but flavor-wise, I know exactly what her boss is going to be, and it's not changing.
Okay, sure.
At least it shouldn't be. So her boss mode is also Plano. Her boss is just her name again, but it's 2 of her. So she effectively duplicates herself for her boss mode, and she puts on like a big show.
She clones herself.
She clones herself effectively through her power. So like all of her boss packs have 2 flavor text boxes and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. Mechanically, we haven't of course locked on how that works yet or what that means, but we're start test bosses soon. And we will probably, I don't want to guarantee this yet, but we'll probably be doing open testing for Star eventually.
Hey, look, it's Josh.
So if you're on our Discord, you can check that out at some point in the future.
Look, everyone, it's gonna be... It's Josh. It's Josh, but as an anime.
Can you, like, cut my mouth and, like, move the mouth flap?
Oh, come on, dude, no.
To make it look like I'm talking.
What's this? Like, you know, I'm not a miracle worker here, man. Like, chill.
No, that's fine. Just any
no.
works.
No, not that. Turn this off. Alright. Okay, our Discord call is gone. And now people just get to see your anime face.
That's fine.
That's
my good side anyway.
That's my good side, the anime side.
My anime side.
Bullet Sona, amazing. Everybody make Bullet Sonas now. There was a question about patterns. So we were addressing... So there's a reason why we didn't give her patterns that key to her mind. And it was very difficult to represent that iconography-wise. as like, hey, here's a bullet in your mind and it needs to have this requirement. Because now people are gonna ask, does it have to be in a specific place in my mind?
Yeah, does my mind have spaces like my sight? Stuff. So she can clear from mind, but she uses AP for that.
Right,
not
right.
Like patterns. Her patterns still function normally.
Okay. I heard about a character in Devastation in development a long time ago that could always see upcoming bullets without spending AP. Is this that character revised? In a way, yes. In a way. This is kind of like...
Flavor-wise, I don't believe so, but yeah, mechanically...
No. Yeah, mechanically.
We've kind of taken some old things. You'll see that too. If you're on the old dev watching the stream, you'll see some mechanics from other ones get moved around and changed a lot. So
just wobble the character
keep
up
all the
and
cool
down.
things intact to some extent.
Like this? Okay, look, I can't do this for the whole stream. It'll strain my arms.
That's fine. That's fine. I appreciate the intent.
Alright. Is Bullet Star a big expansion? AKA, I need Bullet hard to play? No, right?
No.
Right,
it is a standalone expansion. You can just buy Star and just play Star without heart. Avid live stream watchers might know that we have talked about another Bullet thing that we are not allowed to reveal just yet. That might be a little less standalone, but we'll talk about that when we get the okay.
When it happens. But you know what? Let's move on to another
sometime this
heroine.
month, hopefully.
Well, let's move on to another heroine. Yeah, next heroine. Sure. This is Jill Jackson, everybody. Yeah, so it's kind of really interesting because now we're fleshing out the lore even more. Because Jill is a Jackson, and Jackson, as far as I remember, is one of the big tech companies in the setting, right? Like we have Zhao Industries or whatever the Ling Ling's company is.
Yeah, Zhao Technical is like the big Chinese technology company in the setting, and Jackson Biotech is a big pharmaceutical company in America, and Jill is the daughter of, the president of the company.
So she's the heiress, right?
Don't hear much about Jackson Biotech. She technically is, but she doesn't care.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. She's a college student, so she's just kind of going to school and trying to live her best life.
She's just an anime schoolgirl.
Basically, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
She's probably the most normal heroine in this set. She doesn't have any major story to go on. She doesn't have any big responsibilities necessarily. She's just a college student with a cool little power.
So, what's her deal? What's her power?
So her power is that she can generate fireworks. She can turn her body parts and stuff into fireworks. So she can shoot bottle rockets out of her fingers, and she can make little jets appear on her feet and propel herself forward and stuff.
So she's
like a really cheery.
She's like a really cheery, happy-go-lucky Bakugo.
Kind of, yeah. If you want to put it like that, yeah.
Right.
That's not the worst way to put it.
Right. She's really cool. I really like her mechanics. So mechanically, how we represent this is that we have the explosive finale or explosive finish or whatever we've decided to call it. So Jill has a really cool gimmick wherein when she clears bullets, rather than sending those bullets to the incoming. So for example, I clear a red 1, a blue 2, and a pink 4, right? And I clear all of them. Rather than sending those 3 bullets to my opponent, what Jill does is that she picks a number among of them, and then she takes that many from the bag, and then that's what she gives her opponent. And then the ones that she cleared just go into the bag instead. So that 1, 2, and 4 would go into the bag, and then let's say I pick 4, I would send 4 from the bag to my opponent. So Jill doesn't care about how many she clears from her board, she cares about the number, the written number on the bullet.
Right. So kind of like Ling Ling, she's another character that cares about numbers in a very different way. Right. So, you want to be clearing 3s and 4s. Her average clear rate is pretty high, but to balance that, her patterns only clear 2 bullets.
Right.
So
she's really good at killing people. She's really bad at not dying. So Jill's probably
she's got some actions to help her out a bit, but she's got to spend decent AP to stay safe.
Also remember that she doesn't have pattern draw, Josh. So she has a really hard time not dying. But her gimmick is that she's really good at killing other people. She's a very aggressive heroine. She's really good at clearing and sending a lot of bullets to people. I mean, like fireworks, right? She just blows things up with fireworks.
Yeah, the flavor is that she's blow the bullets on her board into little fireworks and making them bigger.
Right, she spread shot shrapnels them. It's pretty cool. I really like her. The numbers, Ling Ling. What do they mean? Is there a Korean character in Bullet Star? There's already a Korean character in Bullet Heart, so we tend to avoid making... We tend to avoid... Like, one of the goals is to represent as many people as possible, right? And to have as many diverse characters as possible. So having duplicates is a bit, you know...
Try to not double up on nationalities too much.
Yeah.
You know, Jill and Meryl are both Americans, but, like, that's, I think, the only...
Yeah, that's the only overlap. Yeah, I mean, look, it's biased. We're an American company, right?
Sure.
All right. So Jill is really fun. I really like playing her. We haven't really figured out her boss mode yet. Like, there's an idea here somewhere, but like we're still
her boss mode is like a big fireworks display. Yeah, mechanically, I'm not sure how to present that. You know, if you clear bullets, do they blow up in your face? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yet we're still working on that.
Yeah.
We're just getting to boss testing.
But we'll get there. I think it's called A Night to Remember or something like that, right?
Because it's called Starry Night Memory.
Starry Night Memory.
So she essentially like generates a big firework centered on her head, and you know it's a big wide shot, the big colorful, you know.
Yeah, she generates. Yeah, she turns her whole body into a firework display essentially, and it's pretty cool. I really like her. Yeah, she's fun. She's fun. All right, let's move on to the next heroine. Like we're gonna start churning through these without the technical difficulties. So note that these reference sheets are all made by Wicked Alucard, but not all of them will be. So you'll see some different characters with different art. So this one is actually
there's a couple reference sheets made by our graphic designer Davey.
Right, and there's a couple ones that are quote unquote final. Welcome to Rose, everyone. This is Rose.
Rose, she's here finally.
She's here finally.
We're part of organized play that have very good memories might recognize this character as a promotional Bullet PT character because I believe that got released. So yeah, this is Rose. She is the big bad of this set.
Yeah, she's
she
the
might
villain.
not look it at first glance, but she's got a lot of evilness going on behind that camera phone of hers.
Wait, you're announcing an expansion before we even have the base game. Yes, because this expansion is far off. It's not. It's not.
And the base game is delivering right now. A lot of people do have the base game already.
Yes, that's why we announced it, because people are getting them, especially people in Asia. Yeah, Josh is correct. Yeah, one thing to note is that the team who handles the deliveries is distinct from us who handle development. So if we only started working on projects once everything got delivered, there would be like huge dry spells of games, and that's not good for anyone, right? So this is kind of like how production works. So while it's still being delivered, Josh and I have been working on this set for a while, and you know we just want to get people excited about it because people are already getting Bullet. Some people in the Discord have already been posting some of the pictures that they have. So there you go. Maybe split the bullets. All right, clear all her shields.
Oh, like
Yeah, sorry, what? Physically split the bullets?
What were they saying? Sorry, go ahead.
No, people are clear.
There was a design I was working on for a long time. It's like, how do I split bullets into color and number? And I eventually gave up because it involved way too many bits to do it correctly. But that would be pretty fun.
So chat is saying, put a real firework on the table, and then you have to beat the boss before the fireworks explodes. That's dangerous. I do not condone that.
I think the amount of like safety labels we would have to put box to get a firework shipped game would be a little much.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so Rose, let's talk about Rose. So Rose is the big bad. She is
like last set. The big bad of Heart was Eklu, of course. You know, trying to ascend to deityhood.
Yeah. So what's Rose? What's her motivation? I know she's French, right? But
yeah, Rose is French. She has basically a magical camera phone that lets her like Photoshop souls and like create zombies through that. So if she takes a picture, she basically like yanks your soul and can like edit parts of it out or like remove it completely and like kill you and stuff like that. So she uses it essentially to create a horde of like what she calls photo zombies. And you'll see that on her patterns that probably aren't on the screen now, but eventually, yeah, all of her patterns are mostly her zombies that she makes. So that's where you see those. Mechanically, her U is very simple. Her UA is called Camera Numérique, which I believe is French for just digital camera. And what it does is it allows you to rotate your patterns before you use them. So she's a really, really simple character mechanic, but she's very versatile, right? You can use patterns in all kinds of different configurations that you couldn't normally do.
Right. It's
with most heroines.
You know what I usually say is like, this is how most people wish they could play Bullet, where they go like, what? I changed my pattern, now it's different. You know, because people really want to rotate their patterns a lot based on my understanding of like how I've played with people. And Rose finally lets you do that. Rose is a very interesting character. She is, I like calling her Star's Youngja, because she's like the character that plays really weirdly, because she plays Bullet in a way that's like very odd, but not in a way that is as complicated as Youngja. Right. It seems a little early to announce it if the expansion is so far off. I mean, like, you know, we just want to get people excited about our games. We're really excited about our games too, and you know, we usually announce them when they're near, but we're not giving any dates yet because, you know, we did that for 7th Cross once and we're not doing that again, right? But we like showing off our games because we want people to get excited about them, because I guess the end of it all is that I'm a fan of this game, right? Like, you know, and Josh is probably a fan too, biasedness.
I hope so.
Right, and so we just want to share it with people, and you know, if people get excited about it, they can get excited about it, and we'll talk more about it later on when it's, you know, more further into development, because like, as we've been very clear with, most of the bosses aren't even made yet, so you know, we still need to get it done. But yeah, Rose is very interesting. Rose has a lot of weird rotations as her UA. Some of her actions are very interesting to me as well, but they're not as prevalent in her gameplay as, you know, Plano's actions are, which essentially are her entire UA.
Right.
But
I mean, you're going to be spending a lot of time rotating patterns in your head, so we didn't want the actions to be too heavy for a player to understand, right?
Right. Yeah. Maybe take a 3-bullet and split into multiple ones in 3 rows. That's crazy. For Jill's boss mode, that would be crazy. But yeah, so chat is saying, digging all of these heroines so far because they sound fairly straightforward. I was hoping that the complexity wouldn't run off the rails too quick. So here's the thing, and here's the thing about Bullet with multiple characters in the box. We can afford to make certain characters really easy, like the first 3 that you've seen, and we can afford to make some of them crazy. Kind of like how in Heart you had, you know, you had your Ice Spheres and you had your Youngjas, right? Star is going to be very similar. Speaking of which, let's move on to the next heroine, and this is some of Davy's art. So this is maybe you all.
We gotta talk about Rose's boss mode real quick.
Okay, fine, fine. I already showed off Jane, but fine.
Well, I mean, her boss mode is like a big zombie apocalypse.
Right.
Thing, you know, as you can expect from
zombie hordes. Yeah. She's zombie hordes.
Big zombie horde.
Right. Okay, Jane. She's the box icon character, and so now everybody knows.
Yeah. This is people in the Discord. We showed off the logo a couple weeks ago, so this is the character in Star's logo.
Right.
Jane.
Is she still going to be called Jane by the end of this?
Yeah, probably. I think Jill's name changed because we don't want too many people with J names in the set, just, you know, for sake of having characters with different letters.
Right.
At the start.
So one of them is going to have to change. Yeah, having too many.
She's got to keep Jane Doe. That's the joke.
Right. Yeah, I guess Jill doesn't need to be Jill, right? Because it's not a joke.
Yeah, Jill can be any name. You know, that's fine.
So what's Jane? She looks like a reindeer person. I guess this means she's another alien.
Yeah, Jane is an alien. She's from a sector in space where there's a bunch of like animal people and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she's like a deer person. That reference sheet you're looking at is full color. Just to know, that is a final reference sheet. So you'll notice that she is completely black and white.
Yep.
Kind of like Victor in BattleCon, if you're familiar with him.
Right.
Jane is part of a group of like an organization called the Justicars, and they're basically like space Judge Dreads. You know, they go around enforcing their ridiculous laws on people, and she's a very low-ranked, like basically like detective.
She's a mall cop, essentially, right?
Like... Yeah, she's technically an archivist that got sent out. You know, she got sent out on some big job that she shouldn't have normally had. and so she was sent to Earth to find out why there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening on Earth from the events of Heart. Basically,
Right.
she's kind of the main character of the set.
Right. She's very interesting. So yeah, she's full black and white. Actually, all Justicars are full black and white.
Yeah, when you become a Justicar, you basically lose all of your color and dedicate yourself to the cause. So they're kind of like a group and a race.
Yeah, like they're like Mandalorians, right? Like that's kind of like how we justified it. Like they're like Mandalorians.
Sure.
You don't need to be a specific race to be part of it, right? But the moment you join it, you basically assume the entire culture, right?
Basically, yeah. Right,
Yeah,
right.
so she's really interesting. I really like that we make all of them black and white because they're like by the letter of the law, everything is black and white to them, right? That's kind of like what their entire
Yeah, it's a very literal kind of design
right.
with what she is.
So she does have a power, but it's very minor. So actually, we won't be seeing it as part of her UA. But what is her
Right,
power?
so kind of like Senka and Heart, you won't be seeing her power mechanically in this game. All Justicars can negate other characters' powers, but Jane has a really weak willpower, so she's not very good at it. Like if she tried her power on someone like Ice would just shrug it off and punch her in the face.
Right.
So,
right.
Mechanically, we play up the detective angle for her UA.
Oh yeah.
So her UA is called Manhunt, and she has a set of bullets that are unique to her. She has they're essential markers. They're called bullets because of how they act.
Right.
She has her immobilizer, her gun, as a bullet. She has her coat as a bullet, and she has her badge as a bullet. All of which you will see in her final art, and you can probably see it on the reference sheet there too.
Yep, there are there.
So these bullets go into your currents, and they key to actions on your board.
Right.
So whenever you draw your coat or your immobilizer or your badge, you get to do that action for free immediately.
Right.
But that's the catch, is you have to do it right then.
Yeah, you don't get to bank it. Right. So when you draw the gun, you have to use it instantly. No choice.
So you get a bunch of free actions, kind of, but you don't when they're coming.
Right.
So you have to kind of think on the fly when you get them. She does action to put them back into her current,
which is really powerful.
It's a little costly.
Yeah, it costs a decent amount of AP. But what makes it really powerful is that you can have an empty current and not end your turn, right? Because in Bullet, ending your turn is a choice, right? So you can have an empty current and put your gun and your coat and your badge back in and then pull them back immediately. So Jane actually gets really strong when the current gets empty. So that's really interesting as a gameplay mechanic for her. Emergent-wise, the feel of playing Jane feels like you're a really, really, really low-ranking bad detective. Because every time you're in a dire situation, the thing every Jane player says is like, "Where's my gun? Where's my badge? Where's my freaking coat?" You know, you get mad at the game because it's like you have to rummage.
Yeah, you're digging through your current because you really need that action right now.
All right, where's my bag? Where's my coat? Right, because in case it wasn't very clear, she doesn't have actions outside of the guns and the coats and the badges. She has to get them randomly.
She has the putback and she has a normal movement. And that's it.
Yeah, so she's digging through her bag constantly for bullets. And she's like, you know. So the real question is this, right? Like, do I pull bullets now, taking the risk that, you know, the bullet I pull might not be useful and actually be actively bad for me? But, you know, the benefit is that I draw one of my equipments, right? But here's the other point. It's like, if I draw my equipment, will that actually be useful now? Should I be setting up my board so that it's going to be useful for me? Because, you know, if I pull my gun and it tells me to clear a bullet, well, it would be more ideal if I cleared a star with it. So should I keep stars in my sight? You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot
actually, Jane doesn't have star actions, but yeah, you might want to choose.
Oh, right. You're right. She doesn't have a star action.
Yeah.
Right.
She used to.
Yeah, but so not star, but like, you know, should I keep 4s in my sight so I can clear it with my gun? Should I, you know, pre-set up patterns so that when I get my badge, I can move bullets into the patterns and finish them off, right? Like it's a lot of like cool mechanics. She's also a really simple character. It's just very hard to execute with her. You know what I mean? Like, because if you pull the bullets at the wrong time and you don't set up correctly, it's just, ooh, you sweat. You really sweat with this character, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. And to clarify too, for people that are listening, when they are bullets, but when she draws, they immediately go to your incoming.
Yeah, they don't go into your side.
They're bullets because they're in your current. They draw like bullets and they go into your in like bullets, but they never actually go into your sight anywhere.
Because they don't have a number or a color, so it's they don't get placed.
They're essentially just a marker that goes in your current bag.
Right.
Basically.
It's really, really cool. I really, really like Jane. Jane was one of the characters that we had the most trouble designing, I think. So
yeah, Jane had a lot. Jane used like a Phoenix Wright Marvel vs. Capcom court where she like used all her patterns and then got like a super action, or some other. She had a lot of other designs that went by the wayside. Most of their we're talking about had a lot of cool other designs that didn't. Got like Plano used to have a literal future sight where she had a second sight word called her future sight that she put bullets in. She like tried to predict what her future sight was gonna be normal sight, but that was like really convoluted.
Yeah, it was really convoluted. It was also super unbalanced. I think that was really what tipped it over, right? Like, convolution aside, like that ended up like with Plano clearing 16 bullets every turn, and we were like, whoa, like no.
Yeah, it was a little ridiculous.
Right, but new Jane is really fun. I really like her. What's her boss mode?
Jane's boss mode is Justicar Do, and it's her basically getting serious. She has like a big helicopter behind her, and she's like pinned you to the ground, and she's holding her gun in your face, type of a situation.
I mean, quick note: the immobilizer literally only immobilizes. Like it's not like
it's
set your
stun gun.
Yeah, it's not set your phasers to stun, right? It's literally just a taser. Like that's basically what the gun is. Want to make that very clear.
She doesn't want to kill anybody.
Right. I mean, look, Justicars don't want to kill people because they want to try you in court. Like
they want to arrest you and try you in their ridiculous Justicar court.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, it's her being serious. We don't have final mechanics for it either because again, Jane has changed so much over the last few.
Yeah, the current version, finished pretty recently, so we got to figure to adapt that to boss mode mechanics.
Right.
If
okay.
possible.
Let me ask something that chat is probably thinking. How does her hat work, Josh? How does she put it on and off?
The answer is shut up.
The answer is holograms, Josh. The answer is holograms.
The lore isn't fine yet because the rulebook isn't fine yet. I would like to think that she put on her hat when she was very young and she just hasn't taken it off since then. But we'll see. Maybe she has a magic Justicar hat that she can just take off.
Holograms!
Maybe it's a hologram.
Oh my god.
Her badge is like a hologram kind of a thing.
That's my point.
So maybe her hat is also a hologram kind of a thing.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Point of order. She's not a deer. She's a reindeer. Just point of order.
Well, she's an alien animal race that happens to resemble deer very closely.
All right, fine.
Yeah, if you get technical, Earth deer, only reindeer females have antlers. Yes.
Okay, wait. The antlers are part of the hat. Now that's big brain.
Possible. Yes.
She doesn't have actual
Maybe she doesn't have antlers.
Oh,
maybe if we keep talking this, I just won't explain it in the lore at all, and I'll leave it up to
speculation. I like this.
You can decide.
I like this. Her hat is just the same as Jotaro's hat in JoJo. You don't know whether it's the hat or his hair, so you don't know whether it's the hat or her antlers.
Right. That's fair.
The plot twist. Maybe it opens like a clam. See, I was talking like that to like the hat opens like this so that you can peel off the antlers, but whatever.
It's like a door.
Yeah. It's like a door. Okay, I'm done. Okay. We're moving to the next heroine.
Right.
Who's this pajama-wearing, twin-tail, lazy bones?
Oh, we got to Memory before Balance. So this is Memory. This is one of the deity characters, or space witches, as Earthlings call them. If you remember
she's a
the
god.
lore from... She's essentially a god, yeah. She doesn't act like one, and she doesn't think of herself as one, but, she's basically a deity figure, in this universe. If you read lore from the Heart rulebook, you'll notice that lore about how the universe was created, and Memory is one of the characters mentioned in that lore blurb. So now we get to see her.
Actually, aren't a lot of the lore blurbs written by Memory?
Yeah, actually, in every lore blurb is written Memory canonically.
Right.
When you see the lore blurbs in Heart, she's being serious, but when you see her on her pattern and flavor text and stuff, she gets a lot more casual.
Right. It's so
you know, she talks like a valley girl and
she
says
talks
like
like
a lot.
Yeah,
And,
it's so fun
yeah,
because like
really good flavor text.
like she so lore wise she's a space witch, right? And in this setting, every
Yeah.
space witch is kind of like the physical manifestation of a force in the world, right? Memory is the force, is
Right.
the manifestation of memory / history, right? So she records everything that happens every iteration, every cycle, hence cycle 617, right?
Right, exactly. So
Right.
memory's been around every cycle, I believe, since the first
Right.
one.
Because not all space
And
witches
she's
appear in
really
every
great
cycle,
and everything.
right? Lore wise.
Right.
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 Man, we're getting
Some of
into
them show up
deep
sometimes.
bullet lore, right?
I mean, this is the jumping off, right? Star, you know, if you're into Star, you've probably played Heart, or you'll at least know both sets, so we can get a little more lore focused
Right.
in this one.
So she's essentially, from what I understand, the cosmic librarian. She makes books that records history, and then she puts them in her library. Lore-wise, I believe Josh says that she has a really particular... She's very eccentric with how she organizes her books. So it's rather than writing books based on dates, like, you know, here's what happened this month or this year or whatever, she writes them based on topics that she likes. So, like, you know, rather than having a book of, like, you know, what happened in 1995, Memory just has a books of, like, here's what every fireball in all of history looks like. Or, like, here's a book about swords. So she's terrible. She's like like the internet, I guess.
Kinda, yeah. So all patterns are her different books that she uses. Like she can she not records history, but she can like cause it to happen. Like she can make you experience it. So if she opens that book on fire, for example, you know, a fireball would shoot out.
Right.
Effectively. So all of her patterns and all of her attacks are the different books that she has. The ones with more offensive natures.
And that's her power, right? Her power is the ability to essentially open her book and then make it happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, Space Witch's powers are that they have
nebulous.
Unlimited power, essentially within the realm of their job.
Right.
Like Memory's willpower is, you know, on
infinite.
A cosmic scale.
It's infinite, basically.
But because of her, you know, role universe, she can only use it to record everything that's happening constantly.
Right, so she's like omniscient, but like not omnipotent, right? Like that's kind of like the thing.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Basically.
Right. So she knows everything, but she doesn't have the power to exert will over everything.
Yeah, she can't necessarily do anything about it, and she just, you know, writes about what happens. So mechanically, how we this is two ways. So her UA is experiential history. She has 18 patterns.
So many
as
patterns.
Opposed to the 10.
Yep.
And all of her patterns have no requirements. They're all just clears.
Yep.
The catch is that her deck doesn't reshuffle normally. So you only have 18 patterns for the entire game. She has one action that can get them back from the discard, but it's extremely expensive.
Right.
So
and
you kind of have to be on point with her the entire game, clearing at max efficiency constantly.
Right. Because
if you want to survive and opponents.
She also is one of the few heroines who physically has a cap on her pattern usage. So when we say that
she can only play for a turn.
Yeah, when we say she has 18 patterns, note that she doesn't have an 18 pattern deck and then she draws normally. She has all 18 at the same time, so she never has to go through her deck to get any of her patterns. So she's 100% consistent. She always has every single one of her patterns. It's just that all of them are one-time use, essentially. So she
basically
slowly runs out of them over time, and she has a max cap of 4 patterns a turn. So you can't just use all of them to insta-clear your entire site. You have to be very mindful about which ones you clear. And when you use a pattern, it goes away. So that shape of clear goes away too. So you have to start finding other ways to clear optimally. Because, you know, you can clear a lot, technically 12 per turn, right? But at some point, that's not going to be enough to keep up with anything, right? Like, you can try to clear everything, but you won't have enough AP to put them all in the bullet spaces, you know what I mean? Like, because her clears are very tightly knit together, right? They're not big spreads. Ferrying the bullets to those clear spaces is a big challenge in and of itself. And running out of patterns is a real problem with her in the late game. So she's one of those heroines that's really good early, but the moment the intensity spikes up high enough that her 12 a turn can't keep up, she gets overwhelmed very easily. But yeah, that's Memory. She's one of my favorite lore characters, specifically just because she talks in meme / Valley Girl accents, right? Like, Like, you know,
Right.
that pattern about fireballs is like, she says like, it is lighted, fam. Like, that's what
Yeah, so she's kind of like the cool mom arc, where she acts like she understands all of the things that the kids are saying, but she really doesn't. So like all pattern flavor decks are her getting like popular terminology incorrect
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Right.
So since there's 18 patterns, we got to make a lot of flavor text for her.
Right. This is not a PogChamp moment, as the kids would say, you know.
There is a pattern referring to PogChamp, yeah.
Right.
If that's the one you were
Memory. That's her name now. It's not memory. It's Memory.
That's pretty good. I don't know why we haven't thought of that yet, but that's pretty
Oh man, I really wanted her to say "Okay, Bookers," but Brad wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah, she had that as part of her design originally, but that got cut.
Right.
It might show up on one of her patterns eventually.
Right.
But nothing's final till press.
Oh, it's not shown in this screenshot, but she has bunny slippers or deer slippers. Like what is she wearing? Deer slippers?
Yeah, she has little like bunny slippers. Yeah.
Right. It's not shown here
They're
because the
getting a
bullet
little
logo
cut
is blocking it. My bad.
Mm-hmm.
She's Starfire from Teen Titans Go. Kinda.
Kinda, yeah.
Right. Okay. Next heroine. Okay.
Well, we
okay.
can
This
show
is
off her
still.
boss mode. We have-
No, this is the boss mode. This is related to it. So this is a cat.
So yeah, this is Behemoth. This is Memory's best friend, cat. If you again recall to that lore blurb about the creation verse, you'll remember that there were a bunch of cats created at first that eventually turned into like other races and stuff like that. This is one of those cats from like the creation of the universe. It's the only one left that's still around. So
She's a god cat.
Kind of. She's not a space witch. She's just a
No.
really weird, really powerful cat. You'll notice her tails can like turn into different weapons and stuff. So she can like fight you with all kinds of crazy weapons and things. So yeah, this is kind of Memory's boss mode, not quite its form. So on Memory's hair art, Behemoth is going to be featured also. Like her UA box is a giant conversation between the two of them for flavor text.
Right.
And then the boss mode is like a big scary monster cat version of the art you're seeing here.
Right. So it's kind of like when Battle Cat and He-Man transform. It's kind of like that, where she turns into like a big lioness or whatever, right? Like whatever. It's
right.
Something like
and
that.
And that's kind of one of the secret design goals we have for every bullet set is at least one boss in the set is a different thing than.
It's not them. It's just not them. Like how Mariel's.
It's not them. Yeah.
Boss mode is a giant.
Mariel was the one in Heart. Her mech is the boss, not her.
Right.
In this one, it's Behemoth. It's not Memory.
Right.
So.
Man, I love Behemoth so much because it's like the subtitle for her is already like Memory's bestie or something stupid like that. Man, I love it. No, it's
yeah. She says totally a lot and also talks like a valley girl.
Right. So they basically are two mean girls who talk to each other. That's basically like these two characters. I wonder what the kitty shoots with her tail pistol. Tailbones? No, it's a gun. Here's the thing. It's not that it's a flesh
it's literally
construct.
a gun.
Yeah, it's not like it's a flesh construct made with her tail. Like the tail just ends in an actual gun or an actual sword, so it shoots bullets.
Yeah. Behemoth is kind of like Mew from Pokemon, where she contains the DNA of everything universe, and so she can just turn her tails into whatever she wants. Not just weapons,
but mostly weapons.
I think she turns them into like pencils in the heroine art.
But mostly weapons. But mostly
weapons. Yeah.
Because this is a fighting game.
You're gonna be fighting her as a boss, so all of her patterns are weapons.
Right.
So.
Right. Mace Tails. Mace Tails would be cool. She can do whatever she wants with it. So that's one of the heroines. Let's move on to another one. Oh, here. Hey, we all saw this one. It's Balance, folks.
Was it Balance? Okay.
So she's another
space Balance
witch.
is another space witch, right? She is the manifestation of balance in the verse, whatever that means to her at the time.
Okay.
So she basically goes universe cleaning up things that she deems shouldn't exist based on whatever her cosmic balance scale is, as is dictated by the universe as a whole.
Right. So Balance is basically
she's
the
a
universe
space maid.
She's a space maid. She like very clear, right?
Yeah.
Like but I want to make it very clear. She's the kind of like character that goes like, man, this planet's a bummer, and then just disappears a planet, right? Like she can just do that, right?
Yeah. Her like memory, her powers are also ridiculous, and her job allows her to use them in ridiculous ways.
Right.
You know, he can write like 8,000 books at one time. You know, Balance can suck up an entire galaxy with her vacuum if she wants.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this vacuum, by the way, in case it wasn't very clear to everybody in chat, this vacuum cleaner that she has is a black hole. It's actually just a black hole, right?
Yeah. That thing at the bottom, yeah, it's just a black hole. So, and she's got like a feather duster on her waist that's like made of light. So she's got like, you know, every Space Witch kind of has this little space theme going on, but, you know, space theme tied to their, you know, lore, essentially.
Made girl Thanos is what chat just said. I can't get it out of
Yeah, that's fair.
Balance, as all things should be. Oh,
that's
man.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Chat's on fire today.
Yeah, chat's on fire. They're making me laugh. But yeah, Balance is really fun. So her entire gimmick is that she can she can balance things in the world. So how does that apply to her mechanics? So Balance is one of the craziest characters in the set, but she's not complicated, but she's just crazy. You want to go?
So Balance has no life. In this game, she just has a UA box and that's it. When she would be hit, she clears that bullet and loses AP instead.
She balances it out, right? She disappears the bullet using her powers or whatever.
So how does she lose if she has no life? Of course. Her AP is affect her life. If she ever was to 0 AP, she instantly loses.
Right.
So she's kind of like the embodiment of work is life. Kind of a thing.
Right. When she runs out of the ability to work, aka AP, she just dies.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't actually die. She you know, she
just
loses for the game.
Yeah. She dies in the game.
She gets tired, gives up.
Yeah, not lore-wise. In the lore, she never gets she never dies. What just happens is she gets too tired fighting you and goes like, I would rather just do something else entirely, and then leaves, right?
Yeah, when she loses in this game, she effectively just leaves. So
yeah, you can't let me show you how to kill a god. You can't. But she will just leave because she's like, I have better things to do with my time. Galaxies need to be cleaned up. Planets need to be spruced up, right? Like, and then she goes yeet and then leaves. So yes, this is.
And her actions are very good.
Oh,
because she
good.
has that.
Right. She has Omega movement.
She has 2 actions
Yeah.
She has 1 move a bullet. What, up, down, left, right?
Up, down, left, right. So she can move up for 1 AP, essentially. And
then she has draw pattern for 1.
For 1. Right. For half the price. Yeah. Oh, baby.
And that's it. That's her only actions. So she plays the game real clean, efficiently, pun intended.
Yep.
But that's all she does.
Yeah, that's all she does.
So,
but she's really good at it.
If you want a really straightforward character, Balance is your gal.
Well, so that's the thing. Like, she is super straightforward, but her unique ability of losing, or her unique loss condition, makes it very hard because you technically only have 6 AP ever, right? And you have to clear stars at the right times so that you don't die or whatever. It's crazy. She does have some like feelings of like Rie from Heart. Because in Heart, like, Rie can pull bullets when she would usually be hit by them if she just punts them back with her bat, right? Balance kind of gets that without any cost, right? Well, you know, the cost being that she only actually has 1 life ever, right? She runs out of AP super fast. Like, if you pull a bullet at the wrong time, you're gonna lose 2 AP and you're gonna be like, that's nothing, I only lost 2 AP. But if you don't have the cushion of the 4 life, right? It's really rough, right? Like, imagine if every other heroine lost 2 AP every time they took a hit in the late game, it would be super rough. And that's essentially what Balance has to deal with every game, is that in the late game, it gets really rough for her if she pulls a bullet at the wrong time and loses AP. It'll destroy your economy, because unlike other heroines where 2 AP is 1 pattern, for Balance, 2 AP is 2 patterns, right? That's a lot of patterns you just lost by pulling the bullet at the wrong time. So your Balance is incentivized to play a bit more safely than the average heroine by moving bullets using her superior movement, or by drawing more patterns to clear more stuff on her board. So that's balanced. She's not a very
Right.
complicated character, but she's pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on. Oh, I guess I talk about this one, right?
Are you on Nawa?
Yeah,
If
I'm
you
on
are, then
Nawa. Right.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, folks. This is me strong arming Josh into giving me a Filipino character or a Filipina character, whatever you want. This is Nawa. She is a half human, half snake person, but not an alien. Can you explain that, Josh?
Yeah, so, Bullet set in Future Earth in Cycle 617, so eventually, through a series of, happening, Earth snake people just came to be. So, she is a snake human. She's not a half snake, half human, or anything like that. She's not an alien. She's just a snake person. And that's a normal thing in, I guess, the Philippines.
Right.
Around this time.
Yeah, and it's really cool. So she's Filipino, born on Earth, right? But she just has snake properties. So what is Nawa all about? Nawa is like 5-star Michelin chef, like in this universe or something. Like what?
Yeah. She's like a super high class chef.
Right, like she's like
chef.
Yeah, she's a professional chef. She's the head chef of like this super popular restaurant called Nawalakan. Which is a pun in Filipino because Kalawakan is the Filipino word for space, and Nawa's her name. So it's basically a restaurant that serves space food to Earthlings. Because I think lore-wise, she's kind of like like Earthlings don't understand the flavors of space, so I'm gonna teach them something about flavor space. You know what I mean? So
right, she's like the only like restaurant on Earth that serves like space cuisine from other planets and stuff.
Right.
So.
And Nawa's the only one skilled enough, probably, to even know how to prepare and acquire those foods safely.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, assumedly.
Right. So Nawa's also kind of like a villain, right? Because her restaurant is kind of a front, in a way.
Kind of. Her. I guess this gets into her power. But this is another power that we're probably not going to see much in her hair form. We might see it in her boss form.
Yep.
A bit. She has the power to eat anything, and by that I don't necessarily mean that she can digest any. Like she can literally unhinge her jaw to be able to ingest anything into her body,
including.
Do you want to talk a little about the lore that she's based off of?
Right. So like, the inspiration for this character comes from a Filipino mythological legend called the Bakunawa. Which is a giant sea serpent that lives in the sky. And Bakunawa is the Filipino mythological legend of the Moon Eater. It's kind of like how Filipinos in, olden times used to justify lunar eclipses and solar eclipses. So whenever there would be a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse, they would be like, the Bakunawa has come and eaten the moon, right? So she's based on the Moon Eater. If you played Hearthstone, there's a card called Baku the Moon Eater, which is also based on the Bakunawa. So Nawa is based on the Bakunawa, and she can eat things like the moon, or for example, so that's why she's kind of a villain, because she like eats property, sometimes eats people's foods when they're not supposed to be eating their foods.
Sometimes she gets a little too hungry and eats things she shouldn't, but she means well.
Right.
I would say most of the time.
Yeah, sorry, it's a sky serpent. Sorry, a sky serpent, not a sea serpent. My bad.
Right. So where's the Baku part, you might ask?
All right. Yeah. Josh, tell them.
So that little tail puppet is her sous chef, and that's Baku. So mechanically, Nawa has no action board. She has a second UI board that's Baku. That informs more her mechanics. Like she's so mechanically involved that she needs 2 UAs to work.
Right.
Effectively.
You thought Youngja was hard? Here we come, boys. So Baku. So this, by not having an action board, this means Nawa doesn't have AP. Nawa doesn't have actions, and Nawa can't get power-ups or team actions. So Nawa just wholesale loses that entire half of the game. What does she get in return, Josh? What does Nawa get in return?
Yeah, so where do all those actions go? Nawa's really weird. She's probably the most complicated character in the game, mechanically. Just to grok, not to play. Like, you can understand pretty easily. So, her actions are on her pattern. Her patterns have essentially power-ups on them. they have an effect, and when you use the pattern, which has no requirement, you can just play it. You do the effect on it.
Right.
So essentially, she gets 3 random actions every turn.
Right.
And she gets to use them in whatever she sees fit. So where are her actual, and then how does she clear bullets from her sight? She has 3 recipe cards, which are effectively patterns.
That
they have
never
requirements,
go
they have
away.
clears, and she doesn't lose them when she plays them. She has these 3 recipes that work like patterns, and she can just use them constantly and spam them for the entire game.
So she never runs out of patterns, but she runs out of actions instead. And rather than having 6
so it's
AP,
like reverse bullet, right?
Yeah, reverse
her patterns are static and her actions are random.
Right. So it's kind of weird that you have to do setups for these patterns. Oh, by the way, lore-wise, all the patterns are based on Filipino space recipes. So it's like, you get it's a Filipino dish made with space food. Like, what do we call it? What's the sinigang called? Like
tasty fish sinigang.
Tasty fish sinigang, Florian style halo halo, and farfig hopia, I think is what we ended up calling all of them.
Yeah, that's right.
Marcus done another Eric. I don't know. I don't think it is. Because Eric's not even complicated to play. But Nawa's very, very interesting. She plays reverse bullet, like we've already said. Her actions that she gets from her deck are particularly strong. Like, they're worth a lot more AP than 1. You know what I mean? Like, she has...
Yeah, they're like 2 or 3 actions in 1.
Right, like, she has move a bullet to any space thrice, right? Like, so you move 3 bullets to any space. It really changes the dynamic of bullet because rather than, the goalposts keep changing, right? Like, because the pattern is essentially a goal for you to put into your sight, right? You move your bullet so that it becomes this pattern. Nawa always knows what she needs to do. Nawa always knows which pattern she needs to make. It's just that having to make that is the puzzle, right? Having to get to the pattern is the puzzle. And it's very, 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 very fun. Got that pancit? Sorry, pancit is a kind of savory noodle dish without soup. So I guess, like, I don't know, like, man, do you guys have no savory noodles in America? I can't, like, it's not spaghetti, but like, it's like Oriental style pasta or whatever you want to call it. Whatever.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Anyway, point is, that's Nawa. Finally. Oh, and one thing I want to note is that I wanted to represent even more stuff with Nawa. So Nawa is actually like 60 years old. She's a grandma, in case it wasn't very clear. If memory is your cool mom, Nawa is your judgmental grandmom, right? Like, that's what she is. She judges you based on how good your food is, and then she gets mad at you when your food sucks. Just trying to read the...
Yeah, she's a much older character than most other heroines. So
right,
far.
most other heroines cap out at like 33, right? I think Ikola was 33 or something?
Ikola's 33, yeah.
Right. Nawa's like 60 or something. So, like, Nawa's old, which is fine. Like, you don't get to be this accomplished of a chef at a young age, right? It took a lot of time to get to where she is.
Yeah, we don't want to do the, like, prodigy character, for something like that.
Right.
Maybe for some other kind.
And in case it wasn't clear to everyone, the puppet actually prepares food and stuff. It's just that Nawa uses her prehensile tail to do it.
Her tail is a 3-pronged tail, and she uses it to, like, cook things, via her little puppet.
Right, so she pretends to have a sous chef, but actually she just does the work of 2 chefs.
Right.
Does trying to reach the patterns make you feel like an idiot sandwich? Here's the thing. If you ever get Nawa up and rolling and you set up the Nawa smorgasbord, you feel like a big brain 200 IQ genius. But yes, if you fail to do so, you do feel like an idiot sandwich. Josh and I kind of said that she kind of has like a Gordon Ramsay-esque personality where, like, she's really sweet unless you ask her explicitly to critique you. Then she will rag on you. Like, not with swear words. She would probably just eat your table. You know what I mean? Like, she would get upset and then eat the table.
Something along those lines, yeah.
Are the space witches older? They're timeless, essentially. So
they've been around since the beginning of the cycle. Appearance-wise, they look much younger than they actually are, of course. Memory appears to be around like 40, 50. Anime 40, 50. And, balance appears to be around like 16.
16, 17 or something.
Kind of like Yoonja. Yoonja's like 300 and something years old, but there's 11 because that's when she died.
Right.
So
she's a ghost.
yeah, she's a ghost. Yeah.
Well, wait, did Youngja actually die, or did she just permanently enter Gwisen form and never go back?
She gained her power before she died, become ghost. She can technically leave Gwisen form, and she would just be in her wheelchair, but she doesn't like she's been Gwisen form so that she doesn't realize that she can leave her.
I mean,
her Gwisen
she's
form.
been in Gwisen form
Even
so
though
long
she
that
picks up MP3 players and stuff and puts them in her form, she's a little dense.
I'll also note that she's been in Gwisen form so long she's forgotten how to speak. So, like,
yeah,
right. Okay,
that's why all her flavor text is
emojis. Yeah, because she can't speak.
Yeah.
She can't speak, right?
Yeah, she can make spooky noises, but
ooh. Yeah. Okay, and the last but not the least, I guess a character that we've already shown off before, Yin, your news network.
Ending where we began like months ago on stream.
Right. So what's Yin all about?
So Yin is a sentient AI that's like taken over an entire news station satellite, and she's kind of like the second bad guy in this set. She isn't like means well here, but she also kind of manipulates half of Earth to like believe her. So her power is that it's kind of reverse of Plano, where if you hear her, you believe whatever she says.
It doesn't make it true.
So,
it's just that you believe her. Right?
It doesn't make it true. You just believe it until you are proven otherwise. So effectively what she's trying to do is she lies to everybody on Earth to not make Earth's population aware of all the crazy and stuff that are going on, because otherwise people would start panicking and rioting and
so
trying to leave Earth in junkie
she's the reason why governments are not constantly trying to crack down on aliens or people with superpowers. It's because Yin constantly goes, oh, an entire bridge exploded? Yeah, that was just an earthquake. No worries, guys. Like...
Yeah, don't worry. They're fixing it right now. Yeah, so, she's kind of good. She's kind of bad. However you interpret her intentions is kind of up to you. But mechanically, how we use that power... that's kind of another power we don't really see mechanically much.
I mean, we
kind
do.
Of use her news. Well, yeah, no, actually, you're right. Yeah, we do show it off.
We do show it off. That's literally the entire UA. What?
Yeah. So I forgot. She's gone through so many iterations.
Right.
Cian's UA is Intrepid Reporter. She has a bunch of alert cards that are unique to her, so she has her own unique component, kind of like Jane. These alert cards have an effect. Every turn, she creates her own unique phase called the Newsflash phase, where she gets to play one of her alerts and do what it says. And these effects are negative effects, usually, that affect everyone in play. So every turn she gets to do a bad thing.
Right,
to everyone.
It's stuff like, hey everyone, by the way, all your red bullets go into your bag again, and then it bounces all of their red bullets back. Which can definitely screw up some people's setups. Or she can go, okay everyone, all your 4s are gone. Or she goes like, okay everyone, place a bullet from the center now. You don't get to do anything about it, just happens. Oh, you got hit, sorry about that. Wink, like...
Right.
Right, she's super annoying to fight against. She can really mess you up if you let her. And a lot of fighting against Yin is actually just not letting her alerts destroy you. Lore-wise, this is actually really appropriate as well, because some countries are not affected by Yin's powers,
Yeah, China isn't because of Ling Ling, and most of Russia isn't because of Ice Sphere. Right. So
Ling Ling created a bot that protects them from it. I think her name is Yang. Or rather, the bot's name is Yang.
Yeah,
right?
She created like a program called Yang, abbreviated YNG, that effectively counters, Yin's network.
Yeah. And my favorite one is Ice Sphere's. Is that Ice Sphere's superpower of gravity is just so strong, all of Russia's protected because she's so willfully powerful.
Right, yeah. Essentially.
She's so big brain, big strong. Yeah. So yeah. That's why that's why the Russian and Chinese governments in Bullet are fully aware of what's happening on Earth, as opposed to everybody else who's blissfully unaware, which is really interesting.
Right.
Are the games going to include a character world book like those in BattleCon?
So if you've seen Heart, you'll know that yes, the back of the rule book in Heart has a little lore section for every character. We're going to do that again in Star as well. They might be lore sheets this time. We might separate from the rulebook, but you'll still get them. So you'll still get all the information about all of these heroines.
Right. In co-op mode is Yin the traitor. So the thing about it is that a lot of the abilities on Yin's...
That's all the heroines, yeah. Any questions?
Right. No, sorry, yeah. In co-op mode is Yin the traitor. So yes and no, because her abilities, she often gets to pick what they do, right? Like when she says bounce all reds, she can actually pick greens or blues or whatever. And when she bounces all fours, she could actually pick ones, twos, and threes. The big thing about it is that depending on what she picks and the context that she picks them in, they can be good for the other heroines. So in co-op mode, Yin doesn't always screw everyone over. She can help them, you know? Not always, but, you know, she can help them.
They're designed to work in both modes.
Right.
One of them is a little mean and kind of mean, but you don't have to play that alert. No,
yeah, you're never forced to play the alert, right?
Oh.
Okay, your news
Actually,
gone.
I think she is forced to play alerts, but you don't have to play that one.
Yeah, you're not forced to play that one. You get to choose which ones you play, right? Like.
Right.
Right.
And you can recur them via AP also.
Right. That's her economy. So all of her alerts are one-time use unless you get them back. It's costly though, like 3 AP to get one back. It's a lot.
Right. Her other action though lets her double up.
Yeah, she can do 2 alerts on one turn. So like in the late game, Yin gets really scary because she's like, you know, okay everyone, get more bullets and also pull more bullets. Or like, okay everyone, I'll bounce all of your bullets back into your sight, into your currents now. Deal with pulling 30 this turn. Good luck. You know, it's scary.
Oh, we have Yin's boss art. Can we show off Yin's boss art?
Oh, I mean, I could
have that queued up.
I don't have it queued up, but I could get it on here if you want.
Yeah, if that's not too much trouble, that'd be fun.
Yeah, okay.
Ask us some questions before the stream ends too.
Yeah, ask us some questions. So like you everyone in chat, you have the smorgasbord, the Nawa smorgasbord to ask the questions now, while I figure out the way on how to get. I forgot the name of her boss mode, but let's get there.
Collective consciousness.
The collective consciousness. There you go.
For...
Oh man, soundtrack's pumping though.
If you're listening really closely, you'll hear a couple of new songs in there that we haven't released yet.
Yeah. In case you haven't noticed.
Maybe they're for Star.
The current one is new. The current song that's playing is new. Okay, let's see if I can open this without lagging my stream. Is that right?
Can you search and look at chat at the same time? Or
Yeah, I am. I am.
Okay.
I'm still wondering what shedding snake skin would be like. Must be an easier process having arms. I mean, it probably is easier if you have arms. Okay, this is not correct. Because it's just the background. Hey Josh, send it to me on Discord.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, in case you guys haven't noticed, this is a new song. And if you listen to it, it'll sound very familiar. As to why it sounds familiar, you guys have to figure that out. Spoilers.
Let me find that art.
Not sure if this was answered, but all the characters that are being shown, will we see them in a future Kickstarter expansion or will we find them on the Level 99 Games website? Bullet Star is going to be a separate standalone expansion. We're doing it on Kickstarter, right, Josh?
Yeah, we are kickstarting it later this year. Hopefully.
No exact dates? No exact dates?
I mean, I think we've already actually announced a date in the newsletter.
I don't want to say the date here and then have that date be different from the one that's on the newsletter. So I just want to make sure that we're not accidentally.
We don't remember the exact date in the newsletter.
Right.
Right.
Any plans to have bullet characters have a guest appearance in BattleCon? Maybe. It really depends because BattleCon is quote unquote done. You know what I mean? Like so. If we were to release a new character, they would have to be included like as a solo fighter. And, you know, quite honestly, I'll be real with all of you. we have so many games in the pipeline. Like, we just announced Argent, Adventures at Argent. We just announced this. So it's very clear that we have a lot of things on our plate, and then making more stuff for BattleCon after we've already made 100-something characters for BattleCon. You know, it's not necessarily something we want to do all the time.
We do have plans for other Cycle 617 that aren't Bullet that feature some of these characters. So if you like the characters, you'll see them again in other games like that. You know, maybe you'll see them in Exceed or BattleCon eventually, but we can't really say yes or no to that right now.
Okay. I got the image. We can show it off. Yeah, so Yin is
I
actually...
screen capped it, so it's a bit cut off incorrectly.
It's fine. So Yin is actually one of the characters where we know what her boss mode is. Because she's one of the earliest defined characters. Where did it save?
You have it?
I don't know where it's saved.
That's weird.
Oh, there it is. Hello? Is this correct? Am I doing it right, Dad? Okay, yeah, this is correct.
I can't see the stream.
No, yeah, it's fine. It's just that the image is so high quality that I have to scale it down to fit onto our screen. This is what happens when you do things live, folks. Which is why I pre-prep this, but it's fine. So there you go. That's Yin's boss mode, the collective consciousness, and you can see her satellites, actually.
Right. So this is kind of her, like, you know, controlling all of Earth at the same time, including you. So mechanically, you kind of fall under her spell a little bit, but we can't really talk about the exact application of those mechanics yet because we're still testing them, but it'll be something along those lines in the final. Yin and collective consciousness specifically is really inspired by Netrunner, the card game, not Android Netrunner, the board game. So NBN, that corp was a big inspiration for Yin. Collective consciousness specifically is kind of a play on Sync, which is one of NBN's like ID cards. So if you're familiar with that, or you can look that up on Google. Well, it's got like a big satellite-y art like this. If you're looking at the normal art, not the promo art. So yeah, a lot of Netrunner vibes.
My favorite thing about this art is that it's currently breaking news. Go to sleep. Nothing is wrong. Like, I love how it says breaking news.
So collective consciousness kind of breaks the fourth wall in the graphic design template too. So normally bosses have that little warning bar on the side that like has the little flavor text about the boss. Yin's isn't a warning bar. It's a news ticker that just says stop fighting her and, you know, stuff like that. So she even like infects the graphic design
of the game
of her boss board also.
Right, yeah. Yin is really fun because her boss is so it's like you don't fight her. That's what the boss mode is rather than fighting her, you don't fight her, right? Like isn't that what it is? Like, you know,
you have to like try to wake up, right?
Yeah, you have to wake up sheeple, essentially what it is, right? You're all underneath her hypnosis spell and you all have to wake up using...
Yeah, you start with no bullets and you have to like get them through various means, patterns, and P and stuff like that.
So like the thing about it is that she doesn't send you any bullets, but the game never terminates if you don't get any bullets because you can't kill her. So she kind of traps you in an eternal state of tie. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, her boss is gonna be really interesting, I think.
Right. The board game isn't called Netrunner, it's just called Android, chat says.
Oh, right. I'm ashamed because I own like most of it. You think I'd know that by now?
I don't know, Netrunner's the more popular thing, you know, like whatever. But yeah, there you go.
It's been dead for a while too, so.
That's all the heroines and bullets.
So that's all the heroines.
Yeah, we've been on this
hopefully
livecast
in a future stream we'll get to talk about that other thing, but we'll see.
That sounds like another. Okay, wait.
It's been like
an hour and a half, Josh. We have to go. Like, I would love to answer more questions.
Oh yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. Okay. So
one more question?
No more questions. We need to finish.
Okay, fine.
All right.
Fine.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for watching this Level With Us livecast. We really appreciate you spending your time and taking the time to, go over Bullet Star with us. Hopefully, you're excited about it as we are. Again, Bullet Heart should be hitting the shores very soon. In fact, people already have them. Some people are already playing in real life. So, enjoy, and hopefully you all have fun with it. And as usual, this has been me, your host, Marco DeSantos, also known as Mechanic, and with me is the ever amazing, ever wonderful project manager of Level 99 Games himself,
Josh, also known as Ithri. Thanks for joining us, and happy gaming.
Happy gaming, folks! Have a good one and take care. Ooh, yeah, bullet. By the way, Fugue in D minor. Good song. Good song. But this isn't called Fugue in D minor. It's called
yeah, that's her boss.
Yeah. Anyway, it's fine.
Right.
Stream ended.